This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And today, from the ballpark of the Palm Beaches, home to the Nationals, it's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Washington Nationals on Fox Sports Midwest. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. That's Ricky and Keel. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And today it's another look at right-hander Luke Weaver.
Luke Weaver's been great all spring. And even though he's been working on his command with stuff, guys just haven't been able to catch up with his stuff. And that just says how good he is. But expect him to get a few more pitches to work with today. We'll see him work on that command and try to get everything dialed in for the next few.
Well, you can see for the right-hander this spring, very good numbers. A record of 1-0. The ERA well below 2. It's also a look today at Jose Martinez, and he has also had a very solid spring.
Yes, he has. The utility man that can play multiple positions, give you a professional at bat, and been great at pinch hitter. So great to see him play and ready to see him play the rest of the way.
Jose Martinez, 1 home run this spring, and he has driven in 4. Martinez and the Cardinals along with Luke Weaver. They'll take on the Washington Nationals, the Nats and Cards, and it comes your way next on Fox Sports Midwest.
More and more people are finding them.
Beaches here in West Palm Beach, a road game for the Cardinals today. It's about 25 minutes away from Roger Dean. And a look at Mike Matheny's lineup: Dexter Fowler, Tommy Pham, and Jose Martinez. Then Marcell Ozuna, Paul DeJong, Yadier Molina, Jed Jerko, Colton Wong, and Jairo Munoz. So many of the regulars in the lineup today. And the Cardinals will face Tanner Roark, who is in the middle of the rotation for Washington. We've seen him pitch against the Cardinals this spring, and he's pitched well.
He has. He's been good so far. He's simplified some things in his mechanics, so he's hoping that he'll be able to repeat his delivery on a more consistent basis, which has worked so far. He's been able to command the strike zone again versus last year where he felt like he got in his head a little bit. He said he wasn't able to throw strike one. He got behind a lot, and he was getting hit around pretty good.
Bryce Harper, a treat for folks back home. He's in the lineup, one of the game's best, a free agent to be. And he said, I am not talking about free agency. I'm concentrating on what's happening this year, staying in the moment. So Harper's in right field. Robles, their #1 prospect in center. Rayburn is in left. Rendon, Turner, Reynolds, Marmolejos on the infield, and Miguel Montero is behind the plate. What a talent, Bryce Harper.
No question, one of the game's brightest stars. It'll be interesting to see what happens in this next free agency market. Even though he's not talking about it, it's still fun for us to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to be 400? Will it be 500 million? Nobody knows. It'll be interesting to see.
So Harper in the lineup today. And so is Dexter Fowler. We had a triple and an RBI in yesterday's loss. That was against the Marlins. Cardinals lost here on Friday night. And that was against Houston, as Washington and the Houston Astros share this complex, which opened up a year ago. Very, very warm, muggy day, as we had rain last night in this area. C.B. Buckner, longtime Major League umpire, is behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes. Angel Hernandez, Andy Fletcher, Chris Conroy as well, the umpires. And the first pitch is taken for a ball, and we're underway. Don't want to rub it in, but it is gorgeous. 81 degrees, very humid. In St. Louis, we understand going through a little snow right now. Cardinals will open up in New York at Citi Field, and you can bet it's going to be cold and windy, probably rainy, maybe snowy. But get ready to play. Battle the elements.
Got to be ready to play no matter what.
Fowler hits it into the shift, and there's one away.
You can see Rourke's simplified mechanics there. It almost looks like he's starting from the stretch, similar to what Steven Strasburg did last year. He came out pitching from the stretch the entire time. There's less movement, so less ability to make an error, so to speak, in your mechanics and your ability to repeat everything you're doing.
Sometimes pitchers feel that they're not, though, getting the max effort or more on their fastball when they're pitching from the stretch and not the windup. Pham rips it into left center. And it's backhanded by Robles, and that holds Tommy Pham to a single.
Yeah, some guys do, and I think but that comes from holding runners on when you're really trying to be quick to the plate. And when there's nobody in the plate, when there's nobody at the plate, there you see Tommy Pham just get his hands through those balls nicely, driving that ball into the gap. You're able to see the speed of Victor Robles. They love this kid, but he's able to cut that ball off and keep Pham from taking a double there. But you'll also hear guys say, hey, you know what? If I'm going to make my most important pitches from the stretch, then why not pitch from the stretch all the time?
Sure. Here's Jose Martinez. We highlighted him in the open. Cardinals have been running a lot. They currently lead all of baseball in spring training with 20 stolen bases, 26 attempts.
One out, Montero behind the plate. I could see him stealing some time in this count, this at bat.
And it was Montero a year ago that had issues throwing against the Washington Nationals. Simplified mechanics of Roark.
There you see him just coming from the stretch. And when there's nobody on first, it's pretty similar to that. It's not quite from the stretch, but it looks just like it.
New coaching staff with the Nationals, a team that went 97-65 a year ago. The second best record in the National League behind the Dodgers. They won the East by 20 games. And they were only out of first place for a total of 3 days. And so Dave Martinez, longtime bench coach for Joe Madden, takes over. And a changeup taken low, and we'll see if Tommy Pham wants to be aggressive here. 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, thinking about that last year, finishing where they did the first half of the season, they didn't have a closer. They lost a lot of games from the bullpen. If they would have had a solidified closer during the beginning of the season, they might have won it by 30 games.
Here's a 2-0. We were talking before the game how teams like the Nationals, Dodgers, Cubs, maybe Brewers, Arizona, Colorado, the Cardinals, those are the teams to beat. And then outside of that, it seems like you're either going to be around, you know, the 85-90 win mark, or you're looking at a 100-loss campaign. There's not a lot in the middle.
Oh, I think the GM Dipoto put it best. It's going to be harder to finish in last than it is to win the World Series.
It's not a good thing to say, but it's the truth.
It's the truth.
7th year for Mike Matheny.
I'll be drinking, I'll be unaware.
A .560 winning percentage. 2-1 pitch is ripped out to deep left, and it's 2-0 Cardinals. Jose Martinez, his second of the spring, 2-zip St. Louis.
That was loud. Jose Martinez getting a fastball there on a 2-1 pitch. Knowing exactly what to do with it. See right here, gets loaded early. Gets that foot down in time. He was waiting on that pitch. He was ready for that.
Left fielder Brian Goodwin barely moved. And with one swing, it's 2-0 Cardinals here in the first. And now Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna, ground ball that's hit towards second. Defoe makes the play, and that's out number 2. Paul DeYoung with a home run on Friday night. That was off of Justin Verlander, his first of the spring. And fresh off of signing a 6-year extension with 2 club options in 24 and 25. And Paul is 24 years of age. It'll be a deal that is looked at hard by Major League Baseball and the Players Association. DeYoung gets security, the Cardinals banking that he keeps to continue to get better.
We talked about it before. I understand both sides, and you're exactly right. The Players Association is going to look at it, but Paul DeYoung wanting security, and good for him. Now he has it, and he's going to be a mainstay here with the Cardinals for a long time, which is great for us.
As you know, it's the player's career. It's his life. It's not the agent's. The agent is there to help facilitate it, but ultimately it's up to the player and what he wants to do.
No question. Smart guy. He's set for life, and you never know what can happen. And that's anything. It could be a car accident, an injury. You just never know. And you know, now he's set if he's smart with his money.
2-1 pitch inside. Now 3-1. It's guaranteed around $26 million, and it could earn him as much as $50 to $51 million. And the Cardinals could be getting the prime years of his career. And that's a walk. So a couple of hits, including a home run, now a walk, and it brings in Molina. His numbers last year for Yachty with 18 home runs. He drove in 82. For the Cardinals and the Nationals, this is the third of 6 spring training matchups. We won't see them in the regular season until the middle of August. And at that point, Washington firmly could be ahead in the NL East. And the Cardinals will wait and see. 0-1 pitch. Oh, behind his back. Look what I found.
Happy birthday.
A little gift for Tanner Roark. Home run, Jose Martinez. 2-0 Cardinals.
Let me tell you a story about a beer.
Martinez 2-0 after a half inning. And Luke Weaver gets the call today. He's made 2 starts this spring. Got a win against Boston back on the 27th of February. And then pitched against Washington in a game that ended in a 3-3 tie. His numbers from last year went 7-2, and Luke Weaver gets the call today. I know you were very high on this young man.
I love him. He's got that rise fastball going, and right now with everybody in the launch angle, and they're trying to, they get to that, they try to get on plane quicker with this launch angle a little bit earlier than you normally would in a normally swing when you think about a pendulum, but then they're trying to angle up and launch forward. There's always going to be that hole. He has that rise ball. I think he could throw right through those guys.
So he has the ability then to pitch up in the zone.
No question. And as soon as he figures it all out, he's pitching down the zone, throwing that rise ball up in that hole that most hitters are going to have with the launch angle they're trying to create. Sky's the limit.
Here's Trey Turner. He's in the leadoff spot. Had to bat leadoff last year. And this year probably will bat second with the return of Adam Eaton to their lineup.
Not only with that rise ball, but he has the ability to spot up his fastball and use great control for a young man. So I see big things.
The 2-1 pitch to Turner. 2-2. National shortstop missed 2 months with a broken wrist. Played in 98 games, and he's such a threat when he's on the base paths as he stole 46 in just 98 games. Here's a 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Strikeout for Luke Weaver.
You see Luke running that fastball. Slid in there a little bit more than he wanted, but on the board that was 98. Trey Turner way behind that one.
Now Howie Kendrick, he's been around for, it seems like, forever. Then Bryce Harper, Anthony Rendon, Montero, Robles, Marmolejos, Rayburn, and Reynolds. First pitch is hit out of play. Kendrick, majority of his career spent on the West Coast with the Angels and the Dodgers. And last year with the Phillies, and then picked up by Washington for the stretch run. His numbers. Good player.
That was interesting. First pitch slider, and he was all over it there.
Yeah, he just missed it, didn't he?
He did.
1 ball and 1 strike. Kendrick, a ground ball to short. DeYoung up with it. 2 away. Jed Jerko at third base. DeYoung at short. Wong and Martinez on the right side. Yadier Molina behind the plate. Ozuna, Pham, and Fowler in the outfield. Think about Ozuna, a Gold Glover. Pham with his speed. Fowler, normally a center fielder and going into right field. This could be a very good trio that the Cardinals have.
As a Cardinal fan, you got to be happy about those 3 out there. The speed, the defense, what it can create, how it can help the team, how it can help the pitchers.
First pitch to Harper, a strike. You played with Bryce. Tell me a little bit about him. What did you take away as a teammate?
Well, at first, when he came up, you just look at his tools. I mean, you talk about lightning bat speed. I remember the first time I ever seen him take a live BP. A young kid throwing high 90s. He pulls one foul. Later in the bat, change up away, and he shoots it down the left field line fair. I remember looking at Jason Worth. We're just shaking our head like, wow, this is real.
Came in with so much hype, too.
So much hype and so much pressure around him. And that was the thing. And he plays so hard. And it was trying to get him to understand, hey, look, sometimes the ball down the line is going to be a double. You don't have to go into that corner at 10,000 miles an hour. You're not going to be able to throw everybody out. Just trying to get him to slow down a little bit because as a young player wanting to impress and show everybody what he could do.
You know, and it's still the case. You look at the Cardinals dugout and guys stop doing what they're doing to watch him hit, just to see Harper up close in person.
Yeah. 50 was.
The 2-1 pitch pulled sharply foul.
You know, with a lot of young hitters, you know, when they get to the big leagues and they're not getting pitched, so they start getting jumpy and start swinging at pitches outside of the strike zone. And as you watch him mature and you see him start taking pitches and taking those walks, that's when you know he's starting to get locked in and starting to figure things out.
He might see one pitch to hit in an at-bat in regular season play. Teams will be so careful in how they approach him. Understandably so. The 2-2. Missed outside, so 3-2 here on Harper. Where's number 34? Adds up to 7, and that was the number of his favorite player, Mickey Mantle.
Yes.
Here's a 3-2. On the ground to Martinez. And Weaver a 1-2-3. Coming up, it'll be Jerko, Wong, and Munoz.
Hey, P. Weber, world's greatest bowler. Show the folks.
Is brought to you in part by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. Buy Shelter Insurance for your auto, home, and life. We're your shield. We're your shelter. And by Steak and Shake. At Steak and Shake, mix and match any 2 items for just $3. Better burgers, better prices. Steak and Shake. Ballpark of the Palm Beaches, the spring training home to the Nationals. As Jed Jerko looks at a ball, Jose Martinez, a 2-run homer in the first, and it's a 2-0 score. Jed hitting 125 this spring. Started to see a little more playing time here as spring training moves forward. See, that young lady in the background is really interested in this at bat.
It's a book on sabermetrics. He's catching up.
You got a front row seat to see Harper and you're reading a book. Here's a 1-2 pitch. I mean, she hasn't looked up once.
No.
She's locked in.
This is where you're thankful there's a screen back there.
Yeah.
And
Here's a 2-2. And a full count on Jed Jerko. Maybe I'll watch this pitch. Yeah, why not? 3-2, and he struck him out. First strikeout for Tanner Roark.
Back-to-back changeups there from Tanner Roark. A little 3-2 changeup. going to throw a 2-2, you better throw a 3-2. So they say sometimes.
So one out, and here is Colton Wong. Numbers from a year ago. And there's strike one. Regulars have been playing 5 to 6 innings now, trying to get at least 2, maybe 3 at bats. As Wong pulls that foul. Matt Carpenter, good news with him. He was working on the backfields today at Jupiter and took ground balls, some defensive work, some swings as well. And Cardinals feel he'll be ready to go by opening day. Here's the 0-2. Ooh, just missed on the inside corner.
Good take. That's great to hear that Carp's getting healthy and almost back. He'll be a really big addition to this lineup.
2-2.
Good take there. You see Rourke trying to move it in, move it out, change his eye levels from going in to out.
To the point where he was like, he was offering to pay for it, and we were like, but
Up and in.
right. And it could have been actually.
I don't think he was trying to go up in there. I think he was trying to throw a comeback sinker in there to get a strike 3 called.
He did.
3-2 pitch. Fouled back by Wong. It's got the makings to be a pretty good rotation. Steven Strasburg, Max Scherzer, Gio Gonzalez, a free agent to be. Then Roark in a battle for their 5th position. There are many in baseball that thought Lance Lynn could have been the perfect fit here in Washington, but he signed yesterday with Minnesota. 3-2 pitch. And a grounder that's hit to the right side.
You see Roark again going back-to-back changeups.
What an odd year it has been in the free agent market. Lance Lynn, a 1-year deal. Moustakas, a 1-year deal. Lucroy turned down a 3-year extension. He signs for 1. And Carlos Gonzalez, also a 1-year deal. And at one point, I think he was offered a 5-year extension, turned that down, and has to settle for 1. It's been an odd year. A strike to Jairo Munoz.
By far the changing of the times when it comes to free agency. A lot of surprises there. Guys not sure what to expect. Next year will be fascinating to watch.
Munoz, a base hit into center. I think your point that you made earlier is spot on, is that, you know, this may be an anomaly this year, and next year with some of the biggest names the sport has had in the last 20 years up for free agency. You know, does it stay like this, or does it go back to what we, you know, would consider the norm? And then at that point, you know, it's which direction it's going to head. It's going to set the bar with Harper, more than likely.
Yeah, we should. I think.
A 2-out base hit by Munoz, and now Dexter Fowler. First pitch swinging and a fly ball out to left. Brian Goodwin makes the catch. Cardinals strand a runner. We're midway through 2. Rendon, Montero, and Robles coming up.
During this month of basketball
The first, Cardinals have a 2-0 lead. Look at our keys to the game for Weaver. Get your work in. Keep getting ready for that first assignment. We head north, and for Washington, a lot of veterans in there. Keep pushing for Dave Martinez. Your Toyota keys to the game. I was up all night. I don't know if you were, but I couldn't sleep. I'm thinking, what can we bring to the table for a key to the game? And just keep pushing. Just kept, kept doing it.
You know, one thing for the Nats, they have a bad taste in their mouth. They're getting a lot of media coverage on that they can't get through the first round of the playoffs. So not only are they good and on top, but I think they have a chip on their shoulder, too, to prove that they can get past that.
So close last year. And really, they've had so many heartbreaking losses. And you think about, from the Cardinals' perspective, in 2012 when they had St. Louis beat. And the Cardinals came back. An epic Game 5. Look at the middle of this lineup. Rendon will be in there. Ryan Zimmerman, Harper, Matt Wieters, Daniel Murphy. It's a pretty good team.
It's, you know, when you start looking at that, it's almost pick your poison and who you want to pitch around.
The 2-1 pitch. The free agents that they have up, the big one clearly Bryce Harper, but also Daniel Murphy, often overlooked, one of the top hitters in the National League. Mike Rizzo, the general manager, his contract is up as well. The 2-2. The check swing and did not go.
Ooh. Rendon looked like he felt like he went there.
He was starting to walk to the dugout.
Little lean towards the dugout there. Well, that's why. That would have been a double if he would have hit it.
Started to shake his head. 3-2 pitch. In the air out to center. Pham going back and makes the catch on the track.
Nice play by Tommy Pham there. We got a light breeze blowing straight out, so he's got to make sure he gets back there and stays with the ball, and the ball doesn't drift and carry over him. Little hop for good measure.
Here's Miguel Montero.
Remember when Soriano used to jump in the air to catch every ball?
Oh, yeah. He played briefly with Washington. He was second base, and then they moved him to the outfield and routine fly balls. Little hop at the end.
Little hop. He felt like it kept his head still when he was in the air.
Uh-huh. I like the style points. Just say it what it is, right?
Agreed.
1 ball, 1 strike on the 2-time All-Star. Played with the Diamondbacks, the Cubs, and last year with Toronto. I mentioned this, but ironically, he signs with a team that went 7 for 7 in stolen bases against him last June when he was with the Cubs. The next day, he was designated for assignment, and there was some finger pointing going on after the game through the media, and Cubs said that's enough and adios.
Yep. Everything's supposed to be kept in-house. He mentioned some things to the media that he maybe shouldn't have, and things went badly.
The 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
To the tune of the pitchers need to hold the runners on a little better.
Yeah.
Maybe he was right, but you just can't say it to the media.
Well, there's a lot of things that guys would love to say, but you never do it if you're a good teammate. And sometimes managers will use the media to get a point across in a respectful way. But going after another teammate is just not the way to do it.
No, and the Cubs they hadn't really turned it on yet, and they were frustrated they weren't winning. So a lot of emotional things going on there at the time anyway.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. Get out of play. Miguel, part of the world champion Chicago Cubs of 2 years ago. And their former pitcher, Jake Arrieta, now probably considered the big fish that's still out there in the free agent market. Been linked to Washington. We'll see. Out to center again. Pham makes the catch. Arrieta is represented by agent Scott Boras, and a number of Boras clients are with the Washington Nationals.
Yep, Scott Boras' team for sure.
Yeah,
but they're already over the luxury tax, so I think it comes down to how much they really want to spend. Obviously, it's not my money, but if it's me and I have those free agents that are going to leave next year, I'm bringing somebody in. Arrieta's still out there. I'm bringing him in. Let's go for it.
Victor Robles made his major league debut with the Nationals last year. And along with Trey Turner, those two considered maybe the two fastest runners in the game. As Jerko makes the play. Good start here for Luke Weaver. That's 6 up, 6 down. Pham, Martinez, Ozuna coming up. Out and available to you. Subscribe to Baseball's Best Team magazine. You also get 2 free tickets to a game at Busch Stadium. Cardinals.com/publications. 345-9000 to put in your order. Here's Tommy Pham. Single to center first time up. Scored on the home run by Jose Martinez. We're not at Dodger Stadium, so I know a beach ball hasn't been put on the field, but it was a baseball from the berm that families enjoy beyond the right and left center field walls here at the ballpark. Relaxed atmosphere here in spring training. Gotta love it. A strike to Tommy Pham.
Off day tomorrow for the Cardinals, so I'd expect to see the starters stay in there a few more innings today. Start lengthening these guys out.
Here's the 0-1. One ball and one strike on Pham. Tommy coming off a historic season, 2020 man a year ago. And essentially didn't play in the big leagues for the first 6 weeks of the regular season. Did not break camp with the Cardinals. And we had John Mozeliak on the air about this time last year, and he said, this is, you know what, a real big year for Tommy, make or break because of his age, how long he's been here. Well, let's just say he made the most of it. Here's a 3-1 pitch. 3-2.
Some guys can't handle that kind of pressure. You know, it could really put some strain on him, but he responded as well as you possibly could have. You're exactly right.
Here's a 3-2 pitch to Tommy Pham. Pham hits it sharply towards second. And that's out number 1. Last time that Martinez was at the plate, Pham at first, and goodbye.
The way he set that foot down so early, it was like he was expecting an inside pitch. That ball caught a lot of heart of the plate there, but even if that ball would have been a little more in, he was in position to do some damage. Book reader decided to watch some of the game now.
She knows Jose's up. Can't miss that home run.
That's how early this foot gets down. See, he's open and cleared. He could have, that ball could have been another 4 inches inside. He could have got to it easily.
I have tested. I will.
One on, nobody on. The 0-1 pitch. We both had the chance to visit with Jose Oquendo, the Cardinal third base coach. He is back. He said he's really enjoying it. Said he missed it. He said he enjoyed working with the minor leaguers and some of the young players, but really missed being at this level.
Something Adam Wainwright said yesterday is he just makes everything better, and that's exactly how I think of Jose from my time with him.
Martinez hits it to short. Trey Turner comes up with it. You know, we talk about Jose so much, Rick, with the infielders. What did he do for you as an outfielder, too? Was it positioning and knowing the scouting reports? How did he help you?
All of the above. All of the above. You're talking about a brilliant baseball mind, and you can see the infielder shift. He has an understanding of what the other pitchers are trying to do. And also him as a third base coach. His knowledge of what pitch is going to be thrown, when to be ready to run, just keeping you on your toes, reminding you of things that you might not have thought of.
Marcell Ozuna, the big sweeping slow curveball from Roark. Ozuna is hitting at the start of play 167, grounded out to second base first time up.
He's just setting the league up for failure, letting them think you can't hit some pitches until the season starts.
I think it's been overlooked a little bit. I mean, the Cardinals gave up a ton to get him, and it's not talked about an awful lot that Ozuna is a part of this team. We're talking about a guy that had a monster season a year ago.
I think he's the most underrated outfielder in the league as far as what he can actually do. I mean, he can hit for average, he can hit for power, serious power. So I feel the best years are yet to come, and I'm happy they're going to be with us.
2-2 the count. Happy 50th birthday to April Sabele, who is watching on Fox Sports Midwest. The Big 5-0. Happy birthday. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Marcell Ozuna. A strikeout. Second strikeout for Tanner Roark. Marmolejos, Rayburn, Reynolds coming up.
I'm nervous because you never know like how the kids are going to
Bottom of the third, Rick Ankiel alongside Dan McLaughlin here on Fox Sports Midwest. Boy, Ozuna loves to just help everybody out with their dancing, their uniform, how to wear it. This is every game we see this.
Just out there having fun, enjoying the game. If I could hit like him, it'd be fun for me too.
He can hit. Jose Marmolejos, a two-time minor league player of the year in the Nationals organization. And he was added to their 40-man roster prior to spring. He's had 7 seasons in their system.
Great swing. I got a chance to work with this guy when I was working for the Nationals and just remembered everything about him. Really, just everything about him works. Got a good understanding of hitting.
What were you doing for the Nationals? A little bit of everything?
I was their mentor. Life skills coordinator was the title of the job. Basically, mentor role, going around helping, from the minor leagues to the major leagues.
There's a strike, 3-1. You're seeing that more and more in pro sports, not just baseball, but those that have been through the ups and downs of the big leagues and get those guys to help out the young players. Hit down the left field line and slicing foul out of play. Home run distance, though.
Pretty big time power there to the left field.
Three and 2 the count. Weaver has seen 6. No hits allowed. He has struck out 1. Three-2 pitch. Curveball put on the ground to Martinez. He'll step on the bag for the out.
That's 2 3-2 curveballs from Luke.
Something odd there with C.B. Buckner is he was running up the line, and then I'm not sure if he saw something with Luke Weaver too. And I think what's happening here maybe is that Yadier Molina wants to go out and have a visit with Weaver, but make sure that this is not a charge mound visit, but more of a medical visit to say, hey, are you okay? I think when he went over to cover first base, he dropped his glove. It looked odd. Yadi caught it late, just saw the tail end of it, and he wanted to make sure and get an explanation of his pitcher as to what happened. Watch Weaver here. Yeah, something not right there.
Yeah, I think he just thought he was going to be the one covering first,
Right.
and Jose called him off. He had to put the brakes on.
And again, for those mound visits, you can have those if it's a medical visit. Will not be charged to a club that gets 6 per 9 innings. So I'm sure that's what Yadi was doing, just making sure, okay, CB, can I go out there and not be charged?
There's going to be some faking of the medical attention they need out there just to get a mound visit. Out of curiosity, I'd like to have a book of the funniest medical reasons that we're going to see this season.
Because you're going to see some. Something I'm sure Molina has to get used to. He is one of the catchers, I would say Wilson, Contreras, Gary Sanchez of the Yankees. If you watch them play, they will go out a bunch, at least they used to visit with their pitchers. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And the mound visits, we were told on Thursday, will actually be displayed on the video board at the ballpark so that everybody knows, those in the dugout, those in the stands, exactly how many they have left, what they've used. If you go to extra innings, you can add one. The 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Good fastball. 97 on the gun here at the ballpark.
Luke here utilizing that fastball to the outside corner. Splitting Yadi in half. That's what you call sexy.
My goodness.
You struck out looking on that pitch, too.
Here's Matt Reynolds. Reynolds played at Bishop Kelly High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's Cardinal country. Then played collegiately at Arkansas, competing for a bench spot. He was traded to Washington for cash considerations. So 2 outs, nobody on, and the 1-1 pitch.
Reynolds, another guy that shows the depth of the Nationals. All their utility guys can play multiple positions, give you that professional at bat off the bench. They are a good team.
One of those additions off their bench, former Cardinal Matt Adams. Right-hander comes in late in games. Certainly he provides power. Adam out in front, and a fly ball into shallow right center field. Tommy Pham is there, makes the catch. Friday night, Justin Verlander was cruising in the game against St. Louis until Paul DeJong stepped in. He took him deep for his first of the spring. Today he's walked, and he's due up first when we come back. Including a Jose Martinez home run and a 2-0 lead against Tanner Roark. It'll be DeJong here, then Yadier Molina and Jed Jerko for the Redbirds. So DeJong, Rick, coming off a season of 25 home runs. What kind of adjustments will he have to make against the league? What do you think the league does to him, and then vice versa?
Well, I think they're going to take a look at his scouting report, the spray chart, try to find his weaknesses and try to exploit it. It's what the league does to everyone. So I think at the same time he's going to have to adjust to what they're adjusting to and stick with his strengths, not try to go outside of what he can do. But one of his biggest strengths is the fact that he has power to all fields, and he can really drive that ball to right center.
Incredible power into right center. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We've seen him really, it seemed like, improve defensively down here in spring. He's made some plays up the middle that probably wouldn't have made last year. There it is, opposite way, well hit. That'll be in the gap into right center. 1 hop off the wall. DeJong to second base. He'll stop there.
That was a good pitch. I was out there on the outside corner. You see him going out there to get him. That's exactly what we're talking about. His ability to spray the balls to all fields and with power. See him waiting back on that pitch. There it is. You see that? That's out there on the black. DeJong's ability to drive it to right center. Double.
So leadoff double, and now Yadier Molina. Grounded back to Roark first time up as Roark made a play behind his back, and the sun has just gone behind the clouds, and temperature dropped by about 10 degrees, and Yadi's trying to figure out what's going on here. Molina out to left, base hit. Here comes DeYoung. He'll be waved home. Relay to the plate. It's cut off, and DeYoung scores to make it 3-0 on a base hit by Yadier Molina.
Yadi's such a smart hitter. When you're up there with a runner on second, no outs, you're supposed to drive it to right. He knows Roark is probably going to come in there, and why not just drive the ball to left and drive him in.
Here's Jed Jerko. He struck out back in the second inning. That's tapped foul. It's pretty amazing to see how far Molina has come as an offensive player. And at that time, you were pitching and then transitioning to being an outfielder when Yadi was getting called up. And he was hitting, you know, around 210, 215. And now you look up, he's got 18 home runs last year, drives in 82. He's a career 280, 285 hitter. And clutch, big time, postseason play.
Seemed like it all turned around when he really started to drive that ball to right field.
Yeah, the home run in Game 7 of the 2006 NLCS, and it just seemed like that was the start of it. He had a really good postseason run offensively that year. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Jerko. 3-1. Our friend Randy Flores, the scouting director now of the St. Louis Cardinals, running the drafts, and he was the Game 7 winner in 06 of the NLCS. Three-one pitch. And it's a walk, so the first three have reached. So this would be considered a mound visit. Catcher comes out. You have to be judicious with it and when you want to do it. How many times you want to go out there and visit. And I know if you've watched us a lot, we've talked about it because I'm not sure when you're able to tune in. We got a lot of day games, so we're trying to explain this. But and you see CB Buckner put up the 1. That's the indication to the press box, their first visit. But a third baseman, a first baseman, he comes in and wants to settle a pitcher down. That's a mound visit. So it's going to take some getting used to on both the catcher and the pitcher, but certainly the infielders too, and the coaching staff. Mike Matheny has told his infielders, stay away from the mound. Just get used to it. Make it a habit not to go there. Here's Colton Wong, and he looks at a pitch low. Runners at first and second, and nobody out.
And it's going to happen where an infielder gets too close. Maybe when they're throwing the ball around, they're tossing it back, and somehow it gets called as a visit, and somebody's going to get upset.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have you seen it? You throw it around the horn after a strikeout, goes to the third baseman's glove. He comes in, grabs a rosin bag.
Yep.
Gives his pitcher a few extra seconds. That's a mound visit. 1 ball, 1 strike on Colton Wong. Rounded out to second, first time up.
That was a good take by Colton right there, and that's right there in that spot where we talk about when guys are trying to use the launch angle and lift. That ball's going to be really tough to get to.
Here's a 1-1. Ground ball pulled foul. Ali Marmol is the first base coach of the Cardinals. Works with the infielders. He's back for another season. At one point, Ali was the youngest manager in all of pro baseball. So he's made a rapid rise to the Cardinal system. Good baseball man. Here's a 1-2. Left-hander throwing in the pen right now for Washington. Sammy Solis, the lefty, getting loose. We've got Edwin Jackson mentioned as a potential arm in the bullpen, and he will just not go away.
They keep paying him. He's going to keep coming back.
Every team, 45 years, he's still there. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Good for him. Ground ball sharply hit to second. 4-6-3, but they don't get the double play. It's really one of those in-between plays for a second baseman. Do you do the shuffle pass, or do you rotate the hips and sidearm it?
Reynolds tried to toss it backhanded there, but just couldn't get enough on it for Trey to get a good shot to throw it to first. He does his best, but Wong too fast.
So runners at the corners. And here's Jairo Munoz, who singled to center field first time up. Runner goes. Hits softly to short, and now Molina is hung up between third and home plate. There's the tag. Runners at the corners now and 2 outs.
Now, even though it's a spring game, you see Molina giving 100% there, trying to give the guy on first a chance to get to second right here. Here you watch the rundown. You see Yachty really giving his best here, and you see him try to wave that runner over to get over there, but just not able to take advantage of it.
Cardinals started the runner from first, kept him out of the double play, and extends the inning to Dexter Fowler. Two outs, 2 on. Fowler hits it the other way. Gobbled up though by Rendon. Cardinals strand a pair, but they add to their lead. Paul DeYoung started it with a double into the gap in right center. Then the base hit by Molina. 3-0 Cardinals midway through 4.
Right now it's Steak and Shake picking.
features great giveaways all season long. 6 jersey giveaways, 2 embroidered jerseys, kids jersey, Cardinals hockey jersey, and more. You can buy them through a jersey pack or as a single game ticket right now at Cardinals.com. Here's Trey Turner. Ooh, that's nasty right there.
Yes, it is.
When you watch Weaver, it's such a different look at him as opposed to a couple years ago when he got called up. First of all, he was about 15 to 20 pounds lighter. And secondly, human nature, you just wonder if he was kind of in awe of the stage, being in the big leagues, the speed of it, and trying to slow yourself down. And then he went back down, came back up, did that last year, and just seemed like he figured it out. That's how it happens.
Yep, I'm with you. He's been there once. He knew what to expect, the environment, everything with it. When he came back, you really tell the difference in how he was able to command the fastball.
And that's it out of play. Mike Matheny not saying officially that Carlos Martinez is the opening day starter, but he said, well, basically he is. But I'm not going to tell him yet. We want him to keep pushing towards opening day. So in other words, when you tune in on Fox Sports Midwest, game 1 of the season, you'll see Carlos Martinez on the mound.
I bet Carlos Martinez assumes he's the #1 starter.
I would think so.
Opening day.
Late call and a strikeout of Turner. And C.B. Buckner is in midseason form.
See Yadier Molina there sitting up on the inside corner. A lot of times you won't get those calls, even if it is a strike, just because he's not over there.
Oh, boy.
Huh? CB explaining just that.
Strike 2, Howie Kendrick. And the 0-1. Boy, Weaver looks good here today. He has faced now 10 to start this game and struck out 3, is not allowed a hit or a walk.
Seems like he's working on that curveball today. We've seen that quite a few times already.
Here's the 0-2. You know what I was happy with yesterday?
Besides
if you're
me?
wondering, well, it pertains to you. You turned to me and you said, I love this game. I love baseball. And with everything you've been through, I just like hearing that, because I love the game. And fans that are here at the ballpark, they probably love this game, and those watching. So I love this game. I said, I do too.
It's all perspective. And I understand what the sport's done for me, what this game has done for me, the opportunities that I've had and still continue to have the chance to sit up here with you and still be in the game and make a difference.
It's fun. Even with all the changes, whether you like them or not, it's still baseball. Here's a 1-2. Ooh, doesn't get the call. That may have been a better pitch than the one on Turner.
I think you're right.
Struck him out.
Ooh, that's filthy.
The breaking pitch has been pretty good today. Let's go pitch by pitch.
You see the movement on the ball here. He starts him out with a little cutter slider. Goes change up again. Fastball up and in. So now he sped him up. A little cutter down, which I think that was a strike, and then change up back. Yeah, last time you seen that got that fastball in, that's almost impossible to hit. You see the movement and the depth on that ball right there.
Now Bryce Harper. Gotti trying to frame that one up.
You know, we talked about this. Trey Turner, not out to a hot start. Sometimes it seems like the umpires peek out there and look at your average, and if you're not going good, they just give the call to the pitcher.
You think that happens?
I definitely do.
Spring training or regular season?
Both.
Well, that sounds like a frustrated hitter to me.
You know, I've been through those times where I had to turn around and say, hey, you know, in a 1-1 count, maybe he gives them strike 2, and I say, hey, listen, I might be hitting 220, but don't give him that pitch for the 3rd strike. I need you to hang in there with me. I'm battling too.
Guys respect that, or they get after you?
No, I think they respect it.
Yeah.
Because you say it in a way where, hey, look, I'm up here grinding. I'm not just throwing bats away. Just hang in there with me.
And Harper grounds it slowly right side. How about Luke Weaver? Perfect through 4 with 4 strikeouts. Coming up, Tommy Pham, Jose Martinez, and Marcell Ozuna.
This is
Brought to you in part by Rent-to-Own Centers, St. Charles and South County. RTOAutoCenters.com. By Hyundai. A better SUV is waiting for you at your local St. Louis Hyundai dealer. And by Steak and Shake. At Steak and Shake, mix and match any 2 items for just $3. Better burgers, better prices. Steak and Shake. The brats and the hot dogs on the grill, along with, looks like, everything else. It's got heartburn just watching that. Here's Sammy Solis, 2nd-round pick, 51st overall in 2010. He's dealt with a lot of injuries in his career, including last year. Started in the bullpen, a breaking ball and a strike. Landed on the DL, had a elbow issue. Then activated after the 1st of July. And had to go back down to the minor leagues after the All-Star break. Sammy Solis. A fly ball lifted into right off the bat of Tommy Pham. And he's 1 for 3 today. 2010 draft that featured Bryce Harper, number 1. Manny Machado, Drew Pomeranz, all in the top 5. Matt Harvey, a part of that. Cardinals selected Zach Cox, who's a 3rd baseman out of Arkansas, 25th overall, then traded him for Edward Mujica as Martinez grounds to short. Look at that.
Trey taking the frustration of that call from CB out on the baseball there. See him moving into the hole, little jump throw, and getting plenty of strength on that throw to go ahead and throw him out. A lot of times you'll see guys go ahead and make that 1-hop throw and not try to throw it all the way just so they don't throw it away, but he was able to make an accurate throw.
And Edward Mejica, by the way, was re-signed to a minor league deal with the Cardinals, and he's in camp. All-star closer for the Cardinals. Here's Ozuna. And a strike. It's interesting when you go back through the drafts and you see how much hype an individual came up with and then how many teams he's eventually played for. Traded, released, moves positions. Whatever the case may be. 0-2 the count on Ozuna.
Two strikes. Sometimes you'll see Marcel take a shortened stride, really try to shorten things up and play Pepper.
Tried to. The strikeout of Ozuna. He's 0 for 3 today with a couple of Ks. Midway through 5, 3-0 Birds.
Let's do this. All right.
To team up with Girls Incorporated, inspiring all girls to be strong, smart, and bold. Find out more. Visit foxsportsupports.com. Well, Luke Weaver could not have been any better today. He went 4 innings, did not allow a hit, no walks, and struck out 4, and gives way to lefty Austin Gomber. Last year, 10-7. And Austin very close to breaking through in the big leagues. Cardinals would like to see his stuff a little bit more down in the zone, but he's got a very good breaking ball and a chance to see big league action this season. And that's hit down the right field line and a fair ball off the bat of Anthony Rendon. And the Nationals have their first hit of the afternoon. We've talked about, we've seen so many of these young kids that get a chance in spring training, in particular pitchers. And it was yesterday, as a matter of fact, the difference between AA, AAA getting to the major leagues. It's minute in many ways, but it's location and being consistent. And that's what they're asking Gomber to be. Here's Montero.
The higher you go in each level, the less mistakes you can get away with. There, he's team who has a really good breaking ball there. He just left it middle. Rendon, really good hitter, able to stay back and shoot that ball down the right field line.
Yeah, that's his pitch. Really good curveball. Stays down in the zone there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gomber came out of Florida Atlantic. He's a fastball changeup kind of guy. And they implored him to develop a breaking ball. And not only has he done that, it's considered one of the better curveballs in the organization. As Montero lifts a high fly ball. Caught by Pham. Rendon tagging up.
Tommy Pham there doing a good job of making up for he turned the wrong way, but with his speed, doing a good job making up for it. Didn't matter. He's able to run the ball down. Gomber holds a spike curve grip. Some guys just hold it differently. It really doesn't matter. To me, it's all about the pressure on the middle finger because that's the last thing that the ball comes off of. Different ways to get it done, different grip ways to hold it. People hold it on different seams, but a very good curveball.
Inside to Robles. #1 prospect in their system. What an investment this has turned out to be. Signed for $225,000. And he's got a chance to be a superstar.
Oh, I got a chance to visit with Max Scherzer today. He said he is the real deal. Reminds him of Andrew McCutchen. He said when I'm looking at him, I'm telling you, I'm looking at Andrew McCutchen. He said not only that, you know how there's always a spring training hero. He's like, this is not that. I'm telling you, if we started him in the big leagues right now, I firmly believe that he'd hit 290, steal a ton of bases, and play gold glove defense. Now that's something big coming from Max Scherzer because he doesn't say those kind of things lightly.
Does not turn to 21 until May 19th, so he's only 20 years of age. How was Max? I'm sure he's ready to go for another big year.
He's in good spirits. You know, I think when you have his kind of stuff, you're always in a good mood.
There's a good curveball. I'll tell you what, Max is closing in to the Hall of Fame. St. Louis kid that played at the University of Missouri and has had just some great years, whether it be with Detroit and now Washington.
Cy Young in both leagues.
Catch is made by Fowler and Wright. Rendon will tag up, and the Nationals get on the board.
You know, Max is one of those guys where when he goes out on the mound, every single time he takes the mound, there's a chance that a perfect game or a no-hitter might be thrown.
Yep. And he loves, and I mean loves, to compete.
Yes, he does. There's a method to the madness.
Jose Marmolejos rounded out to first, and he's 0 for 1. Gomber will sit 89 to 92 with a fastball. There's the curveball. And Austin's a big kid, 6'5", 225 pounds. There's the curveball again on a hop, taken there by Wong. DeYoung, Molina, and Jerko coming up. Yadi already with a base hit and an RBI. He's due up when we come back. It's 3-1. part by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. And by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. 3-1 our score here in the top of the 6th. This is Sean Doolittle. Another lefty in to face the Cardinals.
Doolittle, one of those guys who they'll say throws invisiballs. His fastball, he can like a true back four-seam spin, similar to Luke Weaver, but he'll throw it up in the zone, and guys just have a really hard time of picking up his heater.
Went 24 for 26 in save opportunities. They'll get the middle of the Cardinal lineup. A lot of times you'll see managers now, as we get into March and the tail end of spring training, they'll bring in a closer knowing that maybe DeYoung has one more at bat, and Molina and Jerko, so get their best against your best.
Yep.
And as Paul puts it into play, grounded to short. One away.
I think part of it too is a respect thing, so those guys don't have to sit around till the end of the game. Hey, I'll go ahead and put you in after the starter. You can go home, see your family, and do whatever you want to do as long as you got your work in.
Go golf.
Go golf. Go fish.
It's right up your alley. You'll find Rick just off the coast of the Bahamas at some point.
That's very true.
Cardinals Magazine read an article, and I guess they went fishing with you last year. Is that right?
Yeah, it's Scotty Rovac down there with me.
Tough assignment for the team photographer to go on a boat and go fishing. Probably took 2 minutes of pictures and then went fishing for the rest of the day.
We had a good time.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Yadier Molina. He yanks it foul.
Next, we got to get you out there in the ocean.
I'm ready. Don't have to ask me twice. You're telling me once the waters start to calm a little bit here, we're off and going.
That's it. Should be soon.
You have 2 little boys, and you like to take them a little fishing too. You tell me they catch sharks.
They do. Try to keep them inshore. In the ocean, but towards the beach. We'll have a lot of spinner sharks in there, so they're little. They can handle reeling them in, and they think it's the coolest thing in the world.
It's great. I do too, and I'm 44. And Yachty lines it foul down play. Nice play made by a fan down the right field line. Well, she is fired up. Souvenir here at the ballpark. Here's the 0-2. Mentioned this the other night, but the netting that extends beyond the dugouts here at the ballpark all the way down the line. Camera well there, and then keep on going. It's all the way down. You brought up a great point, as fans now are more now than ever on their phones, or in this case behind home plate reading a book. Have to pay attention if you have those tickets.
Yes. As many games as I've been to over the years, my kids, I won't even let them go unless they're sitting behind a screen somewhere if I'm not with them.
Is that right?
Yep.
Made a shot of Fox Seminar this year of a line drive that caught a young girl at Yankee Stadium, and Matt Holliday was runner at second base. He's in tears watching it. Molina skies one into left field. Who wants it? Center fielder takes charge, makes the catch. 2 away. You always see it too, a player that lines it, the batter, and I'm sure you had it too. You hit one and all of a sudden you hit a fan, and trying to focus in the at bat is Couldn't imagine trying to do that.
No, talk about instant anxiety. Just
I
a
bet.
pit feeling in your stomach. It's scary.
Here's Jed Jerko and a fastball taken high and away. 3-1 our score if you just joined us. 2-run homer in the first by Jose Martinez. RBI single by Molina back in the fourth. One ball, one strike with 2 outs. Nobody on for the Cardinals. Did not go.
Ooh. Doolittle thought he went. He was already walking off the field. There you see Jerko trying to hold up. That's pretty close. If I'm the pitcher I want it. If I'm the hitter I want it. I understand both sides.
Things are a little adjusting.
And the 2-2. Jerko hits it sharply to third. Bad hop. And the throw is wide, but kept in front. It's Dominguez now down at third. Very tough hop here.
Ooh. Hard hit ball right there, but this is the big leagues. Got to make that play there. You see Marmolejos is doing everything he can to knock that ball down. Good job by him of keeping it next to him.
Air down at third, so Jerko aboard. He's also walked and struck out today. And here's Wong. Twice he has grounded out to second.
Friday. Last day's Friday. Yes.
No activity for the Cardinals in their pen, so we'll see at least one more inning out of Austin Gomber. You were a Scott Boras client, and I can't imagine the big book that he's putting together for Bryce Harper.
You know, the hardware that Bryce already has at such a young age, talking MVP, everything that he comes with, that he's been able to do. Oh. I don't know if he'll have to do much selling as much as normal, you know?
You know, a player that is done, as you mentioned, so much, and then really moving into his prime years.
Right.
I mean, he still hasn't even hit what some consider the best years of his career. I had the chance to visit with Scott Boras after we played basketball in Colorado. I was telling you that the other day. Get on an elevator, there's Scott Boras, and I said, well, what do you got lined up for me? And he looked at me like I had 8 heads. He said, I know who you are. You do the games for the Cardinals. I said, yep. I said, what do you got in store? I said, you're going to have the first crack at me to represent me. He's like, get off on floor 5. Get out of our elevator. Here's a 1-2. And Wong is swing and a miss in a scoreless inning for Doolittle. 3-1 Cardinals midway through 6.
Your friend orders a Friday sirloin steak and big ribs.
Weaver, really good today, Rick.
Yes, he was, and we've seen him throw a lot more curveballs than we're used to seeing, but that's him just trying to dial everything in. For the Nationals hitters, you know, you go up there looking fastball, change up most of the time, but today mixing that up, I'm sure he had them thinking a little bit more than usual too, doing that.
Second inning of work for Austin Gomber. Rayburn with a fly ball into right near the line, and the catch made by Dexter Fowler. So one pitch, one out. Here's Matt Reynolds. What's it like, player's perspective this time of spring? You did both, pitching and being a position player. Are guys just getting sick of it? Is it something where they're saying, well, I need to get my timing, I need to start amping this thing up? Or is it just, it's another day?
Most camps are broken up into thirds, and that first third, you're just kind of getting your feet under you. The second third here, you're building your stamina up, going a few more innings, or at least one more at bat for pitchers, throwing a few more pitches, one more inning, whatever it may be, still trying to dial things in. And then that last third, when we get to about the 20th, is when you'll see pretty much every team, they'll dial it into high gear and say, hey, it's time to go. We're going to play like it's the season. And that's when you'll start to see the full lineups and everybody out there giving everything they got.
There's a fly ball out to left. Ozuna going back near the wall, and it's gone. A home run. Matt Reynolds, his first home run of the spring, cuts the lead to 3-2.
See a change up that just stayed up in the zone. Reynolds stayed back on that well, getting a lot of better on there. As I mentioned, the breeze is blowing out, so he got it up in that wind up there, and the ball carries out.
There's Moises Sierra. He's had major league time with both Toronto and the Chicago White Sox. Curveball hit out of play. I know you were curious about, for a broadcaster, spring training, and I go in thirds too. The first 7 to 10 days you got to have warm lemon water just in case the throat isn't ready to go for regular season play. Middle half, I'm giving it my best for 6 innings, then focusing more stats-based oriented things. Innings 7 through 9, and then the final week I got to dial it up.
You got to dial it up.
That's how I'm doing it. Got to dial it up.
Got to. The first third of spring, when you're constantly searching the prospect books and see who all these guys are that are playing the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings.
That is the case. First 7, 10 games. I mean, who are these guys? Wait a minute. Who's that guy?
Number 96 with no name on the back.
Right,
of his
that's
jersey.
the worst. And then it's a lot of Smith and Jones, whether or not that's his last name or not. I'm just sounds good. Howie Kendrick with a fly ball, sending Fowler back, and makes the catch. Home run by Matt Reynolds off of Austin Gomber. Cuts the lead to 3-2, and we head to the 7th on Fox Sports Midwest. coming up throughout the regular season. Buy those as a pack or as a single game ticket. Cardinals.com/promotions. We have the Carlos Martinez mystery hair bobblehead this year. You don't know.
You don't know
what kind of hair that your bobblehead will have until you walk through the gates of Busch Stadium.
All right, over under if it has purple on it.
There's probably going to be some purple. Maybe a little green. He's had that too, like little tints of green. And
so a bag of Skittles hairdo?
Maybe.
On the bobblehead?
Red. I love it. To me, he's fun to watch.
Oh, agreed.
I think it's great.
Whatever it takes to compete. It just
totally agree.
Whatever motivates you, it is what it is.
Jairo Munoz to face Brandon Kinsler. Cardinals have seen him plenty. He was with the Milwaukee Brewers. And the first pitch is grounded down to third. One away. Kinsler was traded to Washington last year. And he had been with Minnesota. He started that year as their closer in 2017. Glenn Perkins was recovering from an injury. And he had 24 saves, a 2.29 ERA, and was selected to the All-Star game. You cannot have enough pitching. You cannot have, in this day and age, enough bullpen arms.
No. No way.
All you have to do is go back and watch postseason baseball, and the fact that starters aren't going nearly as deep as they used to. And the depth in a bullpen is crucial.
And injuries are going to happen.
Yep. Oh, 1 to Fowler. Did you ever take time when you were coming back as a position player in spring training to where regular season you might swing at a pitch, but you said in a particular at bat, I'm going to see 5-6 pitches if I can, just to track the ball? Popped up. Catch made.
Yeah, there were definitely times, especially when you're not going well. Realize, let me go up there, take a few at bats, see if I can work a walk. But more than anything, like you said, just track the ball, get a good look at it, slow things down. And that's when, guys, it's really important to try to play pepper. You don't want to do too much because it only takes one little base hit to say, okay, now I can feel that. Then you start to let it go a little bit more. And I kind of compare that to the beginning of spring training. I feel like at the beginning of spring training, guys should go up there and just play pepper. Just get the feel of that swing going. Figure out where that barrel is and then go from there. You start to let a little bit more effort go, and then off you go.
Sure. There's Tommy Pham with 2 outs. He has a base hit and a run scored today. And the 0-1. You'll also see veterans that'll go to a manager and say, hey, I realize you may want to take me out after 5 or 6 innings, but we see it a lot where guys say, don't. I need to play a full game. I need to get at least 4 at-bats.
Yep.
Or they head out to the backfields and jump from minor league complex to minor league field, and they'll put them at the top of a lineup, and all of a sudden you're getting 10, 15 at-bats a day.
Ryan Zimmerman right now hasn't seen action for the Nationals, but he's been on the backfields. I think he's got almost 30 at-bats or more right now. That's what they're doing, just letting him lead off every inning, get his at-bats. He's happy with it.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Pham. Zimmerman is, in my mind, Mr. Nationals.
Yes.
Face of the franchise.
Face of the franchise. Never spent a day in the minor leagues. College right to the big leagues.
That's a position player. That's unbelievable.
He'll let you know about it too. Jokingly, but it's fun.
Here's a 2-2. A little bit low. 3-2.
You have some veterans too who don't want to play in the beginning of spring because you have all those young guys that they don't know up there throwing $1 billion and have no idea where it's going.
Right.
Jimmy Edmonds comes to mind.
Jimmy always came up with a little bit of a tweak here or there. But by that final week of spring training, he was ready to roll.
I go 12 for 15 and then have 30 and 100 by the All-Star break.
That's our ball game. That's our Jimmy. Here's Jose Martinez. We'll see Jim Edmonds on our coverage throughout the regular season. He is now recovering and resting comfortably in St. Louis after knee surgery. Playing basketball with his son.
Did I hear right? He was dunking, trying to dunk a basketball again?
Well, that's what I yes, to answer your question, yes. And I said, you can't dunk a basketball. Let's get that out there. Well, I just wanted to show what I could do. Okay, well, that's a little different. But the explanation has been I was dunking for my son. But knowing Jimmy, he probably could.
You're right. He probably could.
Martinez has homered today, 2-run shot. That was back in the first inning. We always get asked who are the players that are opening up eyes here in camp, and the one I'm going to now is Mike Myers, which Adam Wainwright talked about in our interview yesterday, and we saw him pitch the game here on Friday. He struck out 4 of the 6 he's seen. He's been moved to the bullpen. The Cardinals are going to keep him exclusively in the bullpen, whether he's with the big club or starts in Memphis. But man, has he been good.
You know, after watching him on Friday, it's going to be really hard to see him starting in Memphis.
I would agree.
Ooh.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Jose Martinez, and a base hit into center. So Martinez is 2 for 4.
Martinez, see his approach here, staying up the middle there. Great job, not trying to do too much. Continues to have a good spring. That'll be it for him.
Randy Arozarena is the pinch runner for Jose Martinez after a 2-hit day. Now Marcell Ozuna, 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Ozuna with 1 home run this spring. Back on the first of the month. Throw behind Arozarena, and he's back in safely.
It's a tough play there for the first baseman. He was off pretty far into the hole. They have a shift on, so to make that play, he's running back towards first base, trying to make the catch and make the tag. You see Montero firing it over there. You see that first baseman trying to get back there quick and make the tag at the same time. A lot of things have to go right to get that guy out.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Ozuna.
You see Ozuna, even though he doesn't have 2 strikes, really taking a shortened stride with a runner in scoring position. More of a base hit swing. You've seen that side swing from the home run. You really seen how he attacked to that front side. And right now you see that shortened up. Trying to get that RBI.
Here's a 1-2. Kept in front by Montero. We've had so many shots of spring of Ozuna mixing it up with the opposition or his own teammates, and sometimes you would say with a new player, well, you hope he can get acclimated to his new surroundings and teammates. I don't think he's going to have any problem whatsoever. He might be the last guy you worry about in that regard.
Yeah, I would agree. Always having fun. Loves to compete. We keep saying that, but that's exactly what we see from him every day down here.
The 2-2. And a strikeout of Ozuna. So he strikes out for the third time. 3-2. Time to stretch here on Fox Sports Midwest.
Let me tell you a story.
Giancarlo Stanton is first as a Yankee to right center. Along with Aaron Judge. And then how about this one? Mike Trout. Center field over the batter's eye. That's 420 to center.
Yeah, the leverage that he's able to create is incredible.
Man, oh man. Sean Gilmartin is the new pitcher, left-hander for the Cardinals. As some of the regulars are through for today. That includes Dexter Fowler, Marcell Ozuna, Tommy Pham, Rafael Bautista will lead it off against Gilmartin, the lefty that saw big league time with the Braves and the Mets. He's a really good collegiate pitcher at Florida State.
First round pick?
Yes.
Bautista, another one of the Nationals. Really good young prospects. 5-tool guy.
And a curveball drops in. In 2016, Bautista had 56 steals. Injuries, though, last year slowed him down. Wisdom will give it a look. He's your new first baseman for the Cardinals. He had a hamstring injury, Bautista did, that kept him out for 2 months of action. Not much of a power guy, but known for his speed, kind of slashes at it.
Got a really good arm from the outfield if we get a chance to see it today.
Just missed. This is where a guy like Bautista or those that can run, even if they're not great offensive performers, September call-ups, they can be big. Defensive replacements, pinch runners, those types of players. The 3-2 pitch. And it's a leadoff walk. We'll see it, I bet, right here.
Yep.
Our next telecast will be Friday. I'll be along with Todd Hollinsworth, who is the analyst for Marlins baseball. It's a shared telecast, so it'll be seen on Fox Midwest and Fox Sports Florida. We'll come your way at noon. It's our Budweiser What's on Tap. Here's Chris Dominguez.
A lot of times you won't see him go the first pitch here. They'll throw it at first to see if the hitter's bunting. Didn't do it there, though.
You know, that's the other aspect of spring training that final week. You'll see as they play it differently with bunts, hit and runs, things of that nature. More of the strategy of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Many times lefties won't show the very good move. Just a little throw over. No paying attention, but then you'll see the better move as the at bat goes forward.
Another thing they teach you too is if your move stinks, don't show them any move ever.
How was your move? I don't remember.
Mine was decent. Yeah, I worked a lot on it when I was young, and you know, as I got older, I started once I started throwing harder, I started understanding I could strike guys out, and I was like, you know what, go ahead, I'm gonna strike the guy out anyway.
Runner goes, and it's 0-2. Yeah, take second. Don't worry about it. He's not going to score anyway.
Whether I was right or wrong, it's just a good mentality to have.
It sure is.
Yep. But Tony, too, with Tony La Russa, Tony controlled the running game.
Right.
That's one of the things he felt like he wanted to take that responsibility away from the pitcher, so it's something you didn't have to think about, so they would call when you threw over or when you didn't, and he wanted, part of his thing was he wanted to understand what they were doing, too, so he didn't want you to mess that up.
Here's the 0-2. Pena is the catcher for the Cardinals.
It's interesting with Bautista, when he gets to his lead, he holds that right arm back towards the left side of his body, so maybe he's thinking because he has to turn, but I haven't really seen anyone do that before.
Is it taught any kind of way to get in a position to run?
Usually you're taught to open up that front foot a little bit.
Slightly, right?
Slightly, yep. So you have a better, you can turn faster going towards second.
One and two the count. He is running. Pena's throw, and they got him. Not a very good jump. Gave Pena a chance, and he even did it with a breaking ball.
Right here, you see him pick up that front foot even though it's slightly open. And one of the reasons they teach to hold that front foot slightly open is so now you can just push off your back leg and pivot, but you see him still pick it up and set it down, which will cost you a slight second there.
Here's a 2-2. Pulled foul.
Yeah, so watch this front foot here. It's slightly open. You see him pick it up right there. A lot of times you're taught to just pivot on that foot so you don't lose that step there. But for whatever reason, maybe that's just the way he does it. Even though he's slightly open, he picked it up.
The 2-2. What are the times? Like, well, 1-2, I guess, is something that they Talk about
for
if
the
you're,
pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So for the
Under
time,
1-2. If the pitcher's under 1-2, don't go. And guy, you know, that's individual for each guy. How fast you are, what your lead is. Usually, there's a number that you're looking for that you need for you to go.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Yanked foul. And that's from the start of the delivery to the ball hitting the mitt of the catcher. So 1.2 seconds. I mean, they've got it down to a science.
Yes.
First base coach is keeping a stopwatch on it. The bench is doing that. The video department is also picking up little things with that as well.
You know, the easier base to steal is third. Because you can get a walking lead into it. You're not just in one position, especially for me, because I wasn't the first step fast guy where I'm, you know, my first or second step in full speed. But coming from second, now I'm kind of walking in towards the pitcher, and walking slightly moving towards third. So if you can get a good jump, you can just take it from the pitcher.
Here's a 2-2. High fly ball lifted out to deep left, and we're tied. Solo home run. Pretty good at bat. He had fouled away some tough pitches.
Yes, it was.
Eventually got one to drive. That was a 10-pitch at bat, and it ties the ball game up at 3-3.
You see that sinker getting back over the plate. 10-pitch at bat, pulling those hands in. It's a big victory for a hitter when you're in that kind of battle and you're able to win it.
Third ball taken for a ball inside.
Spencer's little brother is in the Nats organization, one of their top prospects and infielder.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Taken down and in. Cardinals will enjoy an off day coming up this week. Getting after it since about the 12th, 13th of February. Most players, position players especially, were even here prior to that. Hit to third. And a rare error by Mejia.
Here you see him moving in position, getting both legs down. He had it right there, just slips out of the glove. Known for his defensive ability. He's going to be mad at himself about that one.
There's a ground ball, and that one takes a bat out. Or the ball will find you. Nobody at the bag at second, so runners at second and third with just one out for the Nationals here in the bottom of the seventh.
So that was Spencer's little brother Carter at the plate right there. He didn't get a chance to mention it, one pitch and out, but there you see Mejia trying to get in front of that ball, but just took a bad hop on him.
So two hitters and then two errors. Tough inning for Alex Mejia. Runners at second and third. And Adrian Sanchez be pinch hit for. To Stevenson at the plate. Infield in. And a ball taken low and outside.
Well, then
Last year, 37 games. Big league level for Stevenson.
Come on, get it in.
In the 1-0 pitch. Stays away again. 2 balls and no strikes. I know it's cliche, but boy, if it isn't true, the ball finds you.
Yes, it will. There's nowhere to hide out there.
No. Team sport, but yet it's an individual game. You against the ground ball, you against the pitcher, you against the fly ball. Tough. 3-0 the count. Bases loaded. Now it's Adrian Sanchez. Cardinals with a right-hander going in the bullpen. And here comes Mike Matheny. This will be Josh Lucas. He's had a nice camp thus far, and he comes into a tough spot. Bases loaded, 1 out. When we come back, tie ball game.
I am unstoppable. I'm not.
MLB.tv. Watch select spring training games live on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Well, tough to give Gil Martin much of a look with the heirs behind him. Now, he did give up the home run, and I'm sure part of this is by design to bring Lucas into a tough spot. He's been a closer in the minor leagues. Very good breaking pitch. And a pretty good spring thus far. And it's ball 1 on Adrian Sanchez with the bases loaded and 1 out.
As a pitcher, when you're out there getting those ground balls and you know the plays should be made, that's where you got to leave with a positive attitude, knowing you did exactly what you needed to do. You made your pitch, you got the ground ball, you go home with a good attitude.
1-0 pitch. There's that breaking pitch that Lucas possesses. Late break, sharp.
See that here, kind of starting at him, kind of freezes Sanchez, ended up on the inside part of the plate. Didn't like the call.
Here's a 1-1. It's much better there.
A lot tighter break on that one.
Up the middle, could be two. A flip, double play. Keeps this game tied at 3-3. Good job by Lucas. Gets the ground ball. Double play. We're tied 3-3. Here's Willie McGee. He was part of the first class of the Cardinals Hall of Fame inductees. And you can vote now for the next class at cardinals.com/HOF. Cardinals Hall of Fame voting live through April 12th. Always an incredible ceremony late in the summer. 3-3 our score, top of the 8th. And Sean Kelly is the new pitcher for Washington. Pitched at Austin P University, drafted by the Mariners, and he has been with Seattle, the Padres, Yankees, Nationals. That's well hit. Deep left field. At the wall. Gone. Paul DeYoung puts the Cardinals back on top.
Paulie D, as we talked about before, stretching him out. Here we see him in the 8th inning. Getting a pitch he can do damage was, and he does not miss it. Fastball down the heart of the plate, and Paulie right on it.
Two home runs both this weekend at this park. And Pena sends a fly ball into center field. Sean Kelly has the Jason Worth look going.
You know, a lot of guys, that became really big over the last few years. This year it seems like it's starting to taper down a little bit.
Tanner Roark earlier today, the big bushy beard. John Brebbia had a great one going.
I'd be afraid I'd have food in there.
Bugs. Be food for weeks.
Piece of garlic.
Yeah, that would not be good. All of a sudden, guys start to move away from you in casual conversation. How about a handshake? Just give you a little fist pump and move on. And then Patrick Wisdom has got a little Al Raboski going right now. The Fu Manchu. I always thought Jason Worth had more of the Teen Wolf look going. Where Kelly looks like a guy you don't want to mess with. Jason Worth, it was more Teen Wolf. Now you might be able to have a conversation with him. Kelly, I don't think so. Jason Worth, by the way, one of those players that's still unsigned. Remember how maligned the Nationals were when they gave him that contract, which was well over $100 million. He was with the Phillies, helped them to a world championship, and Jason Worth was a really good player.
Yes, he was. All the things he did for the Phillies in the playoffs, amazing stats and what he did for them. And you know, I remember when that deal happened. I don't think the Phillies were anywhere close. He came in and Jason came in and hired Scott Boras, and you know, I don't know what the exact number was, but I know it was a lot less than what Washington came in and offered him.
Maybe 7 for 110 or 120. Ooh, that's well hit. Left field. Off the wall. Wisdom on his way to second base, standing up with a double.
So it's fair to say he'll be keeping that Fu Manchu.
You bet. Never change that stuff.
Here you see him trying to get that ball in there, but Wisdom strong, jerking those hands in there, crushed it.
So the 1-out double, and it brings in Harrison Bader, who's hitting .281 this spring. No home runs, couple of RBIs, and a strike. Jason Worth was from the St. Louis area. Had family that played in the major leagues. Grew up a Cardinal fan, if memory serves correct. It may be a year that you have really good players that have been great players. Holiday, Jason Worth, and I'm talking about Matt Holliday and some others, may not find a job.
No, it's fascinating. You'd think that teams would want that experience in there, showing those young guys what it means to be a big leaguer, how to approach certain situations, but it just seems like that credibility is getting thrown out the window.
Yeah. And as young as the game is going, you still need guys that have been there before to show young players how to be big leaguers.
Yes. Yep. No doubt about it. Can't tell you how many things I learned from our veterans.
I've heard you say so many times. You've talked about Darryl Kyle.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, God, I got a chance to play with so many great players, and not whether they were mentoring me one-on-one or not, but watching them, listening how they play, listen to what they talk about, how their approach is. Just being on the bench with those guys, you learn so much by just being around.
A strikeout for Kelly at Bader. Greg Garcia will pinch hit.
We talk about this so much, but Garcia is so good at giving you a professional at bat.
This is where he can be really tough.
Yes.
Really tough. Now, regular season play, you might see a lefty come in and face him in this spot. But there will be those matchups, late games, late innings. And the right-hander's in. Uh-oh. Wisdom is picked off at second base in a rundown and tagged out. Paul DeYoung, his second home run of the spring. And with that, the Cardinals back on top, 4-3. 18 with Cardinals all-inclusive tickets. Choose from the UMB Champions Club, Proficient, Red Jacket Club, Bank of America Club, and so much more. All-inclusive tickets. That means food, drinks, and a great view of the game at Busch Stadium. They're on sale right now at Cardinals.com. So Lucas came in with the bases loaded. Game tied 3-3 and 1 out. Got a double play, and he hits Reed Brignac on the first pitch. So the tying run is at first. Go ahead, run comes to the plate.
Tries to get that fastball in there to the inside of the plate and just jerks it in there a little bit. Reed Brignac, one of those guys who's been around for a long time, utility player.
Just going to look it up. Seems like he's been around forever.
I remember him with the Marlins in Tampa Bay.
Rockies, Yankees, Phillies, Braves. He was drafted in the second round of 2004. That's a while ago. Fastball and a good one. The check swing and did not go. Now I remember why I was a big fan of Reed Brignac. Longevity in this game. Moises Sierra at the plate. The breaking ball lifted in the air to right center. Catch is made. And Brignac will stay put at first.
I'll split the outfielders. You see the center fielder taking charge and the right fielder giving way to the center fielder.
Here's Drew Ward. Runner at first base. That's Brignac running. Throw by Pena. And what a tag. They got him. Second guy that Pena has gotten today trying to steal.
Reed trying to slide to the outside of the bag here to get away from the tag, but
come off the bag maybe a little bit. I'm not sure. That's one though. Regular season 1-run game. Dave Martinez is probably going to throw the challenge on. But spring training, just keep it moving. 0-2 the count with 2 outs and nobody on. And a pitch in the dirt. The check swing, and he went. Strikeout for Lucas, so good work by Josh today. 4-3 as we head to the ninth. By the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Ishmael Guion is the new pitcher. You gotta like that. You got your Fredbird, you got your popcorn. Beautiful day. Hopefully a little sunscreen on you. Taking in some baseball. Never start too young. So there's Guion, the new pitcher, the lefty in for the Nationals. A Paul DeYoung home run. The difference, Cardinals got 2 runs in the first inning. Then an RBI single by Yadier Molina. The 2 runs came on a Martinez home run. That made it 3-0 with Yadi's base hit. Nationals tied it up 3-3, and then the home run by DeYoung in the top of the 8th. And here's Luke Voit, who was red hot at the start of spring. Luke has played a little bit in the outfield this spring in left. He's played 20 games at Double-A Springfield in left field. And he grounds it to third. 1 away. Oscar Mercado will be the batter. I would say Randy Arozarena, Adolis Garcia, and Oscar Mercado have been the position players of the minor leaguers that have opened up some eyes. Mercado was a shortstop as recent as 2016, and then because of his speed, they moved him to the outfield. 263 is average this spring, but stolen bases have been up. If he gets on, he's running.
It's good to see. It seems with all that lift and separate, launch angle, we don't see as many stolen bases as we used to.
I miss it.
Me too.
I think it's a great part of the game. Great way to get excitement in the game.
When you talk about the pressure that it puts on everybody, and I remember the days when the Phillies were really good, 08, 09, and it seemed like Rollins, those guys would get on base, and all of a sudden they're on first and second. A pitch later, they're on second and third, and it tightens everybody up, and it puts pressure on everyone, causes havoc.
Utley could steal a base then.
Utley, Worth, all of them.
A fly out to center off the bat of Mercado. For those of us that grew up in St. Louis and watching the Cardinals of the 1980s, you talk about exciting brand of baseball on the turf with Willie McGee and Ozzie Smith, Tommy Herr, Vince Coleman. I mean, if he made it on first, it's a double. He's going
right.
second.
Right.
They put so much pressure on teams.
So many things happen because the infielders have to draw in towards second. Now you open up the hole for the hitter. Ground balls get through. It just creates, it creates havoc. Catcher wants to call fastballs because he knows the guys are going.
Exactly.
Pitcher starts slide step, and that's one thing that happens too, because a lot of guys aren't good with the slide steps, and all of a sudden they slide step, they rush, they leave the ball up, the hitter gets something to hit. He was stealing anyway, and all of a sudden he scores from first easily because the ball's in the gap.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Mejia. Talked a lot how Alex is known for his glove. Couple of errors today, though. We don't see that very often from him. Natural shortstop, played at Arizona, was an All-American player, and has shown he can play all over the infield and do it at a high level defensively. In the dirt. Cardinals have a right-hander throwing in the pen. That's Dominic Leone, who might be your closer on opening day.
talked about it before. His splits are pretty similar between lefties and righties, so he won't have to play matchups.
Here's a 1-2. Strikeout of Mejia. Bottom of the ninth rolls in when we come back. 4-3. Cardinals on top. That we were doing, Ricky Ankiel alongside. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Is a pretty good bite on the slider of Dominic Leone. Under the hands of a lefty, freezing some of those right-handed batters. In Arizona, he was so-so, and then last year, really good season with Toronto. Comes over in the Randall Grichuk deal. Cardinals also got Connor Green, a hard-throwing right-hander in that trade. And so when you think about late innings, and especially with Luke Gregerson nursing a sore oblique, those can linger. The Cardinals are saying right now it's not a serious deal, but never liked those. But the point being is that Dominic Leone could slide into that closer's role. Rafael Bautista.
Seems like it'll be closer by committee. Not really committing to anyone yet, but it's still early in camp.
Matchups, you've got a good lefty in Tyler Lyons that has pitched late innings. Tight break there.
This is.
One ball and one strike. This will be our final game working together. You did a great job, and I mean that. A lot of fun. Rick will be part of our pre and post game telecast on Fox Sports Midwest. Good job. A lot of fun.
Thanks. Had a good time. Sad it's over.
Me too. The 2-1 pitch. But I have an idea.
Aha.
I have an idea.
But that's not all.
You just come up anytime you want in the booth. So if you're doing the pre and post, just come on over. We'll make it a 3-man booth, and you know, anything you got to get off your chest, let it rip.
All right, then I'll be in to visit. Talked about it earlier, but the speed of Bautista now that he's on first. Down by 1, especially with the righty on the mound now. See if he gives another chance at stealing second.
Boy, how many times as a pitcher, when you know a guy has great speed, you're saying to yourself, the last thing I want to do is walk this guy.
Yep.
More so than maybe others. The strike to Chris Dominguez.
From a mental aspect, that's where you got to step off the mound and get that thought out of there, because your thought's going to be, it's got to be, I'm going to bury this ball in the bottom of the strike zone or wherever you're trying to throw it. But that's got to be your thought, not I don't want to walk. You got to focus on what you want to do.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. 7th inning against Sean Gilmartin. This home run tied it up. Very valid point that you brought up earlier is with speed on the bases, what happens with a pitcher in a slide step. And you get rushed, pitches go up. And I'm sure that's something that Leon is conscious of here. The high chopper, that's foul.
0-2, 1-2, always good counts to take a shot at stealing second. You know the pitcher's going to come with an off-speed pitch at some point, especially with Leon because he has that good slider. You know he's going to want to go to it. There is a chance he bounces it, so that's something else you're being aware of. You're trying to read that ball out of his hand if you think it's going to bounce. Sometimes you just go. You don't wait to see if it bounces away from the catcher or not.
Pena at the last moment able to catch the fastball from Leon at 92. Here's a 1-2.
Even though it's 2-2, because Leon has thrown 2 fastballs in a row, if you're the runner, you got to be thinking, okay, there's got to be a shot here. He's going to go back to that slider.
Let's see what he wants to come with here on 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two is a high fly ball lifted into right. That'll stay in the ballpark.
See Bautista going back to tag because that ball was deep. There you're able to see the speed of what he has. No outs. Typically you're going to be halfway to see if the ball drops, but he's seen how far it's going to be out in the outfield. With his speed, he immediately went back to tag. Bautista, you see where the ball is. See him haul butt back to that bag, knowing that he can take it with his speed.
I'm sure that'll be a teaching moment for Rosarena as well. Didn't get himself in a real good position to throw, too. Kind of drifting back, throwing off his back foot.
I mentioned earlier the wind breezing out here a little bit, so that ball probably carried back on him. Feels like he's under it, but you're right, got right over him. Kind of slits there at the end. As you mature, those are the things you think about before that ball goes in the air. Okay, ball up. I got to get back way farther than I should because it might drift back on me.
Spencer Kieboom.
What a last name for a hitter, huh?
Boom. Now, Bob Walk, that's not a good name for a pitcher. You don't want that. The 2-0 pitch. Mejia looks back the runner and makes the play. And the Nationals now down to their final out.
See Mejia sliding over there, getting rid of it quick, checking the runner with the speed of the runner, firing a strike over there.
And now his brother Carter Kieboom. Reached on there by Mejia. First time up. Two outs and the runner at second base. Fastball and a strike.
Good pitch. Dot in the outside corner with that fastball here.
One ball and one strike. Popped up right side. Wisdom over. Oh no. He seems to be all right. Woof.
Went into that rail hard there.
Sure did.
Thought he had a shot at catching it and just ran out of room. That netting there kind of saved him. This situation with the speed of Bautista, you never want to make the third out at third base, but with his speed, there's no point in stealing third base because if it's a base hit, he'll score anyway. Cardinals infielders, everybody spread out, not even trying to hold him on.
One ball and two strikes. And the next by Leon. Hit out of play. Leon last year over 70 innings. Opponents only hit .202 against him. Originally drafted in the 16th round by Seattle, 2012. Traded to Arizona. Claimed off of waivers by Toronto. And then the deal for Randall Grichuk to come pitch for the Cardinals.
He's thrown two perfect fastballs on that outside corner. If he throws that slider that breaks into the left-hander batter's box, it'd be hard for Carter to lay off.
Here's a 1-2. That was the pitch, and a good block by Pena. Kept it in front. Again, that's the son of Tony Pena, longtime Cardinal.
Here it is there.
So 2-2 the count.
Important block there. Keeping the runner at second base. If that gets by him, the runner goes to third. Now you're a little hesitant to throw that slider in the dirt, which is such a good weapon for Leon.
The 2-2. Got him.
It is.
Exactly what you talked about, the pitch that he needed to make, and he did it. So the Cardinals hold on for a 4-3 win.
See the tight rotation and the break on that ball. Carter, as soon as he started to swing, realized it wasn't a heater, and he was done.
So the Cardinals, thanks to Paul DeYoung and his home run in the 8th, win it by the score of 4-3. Our next telecast will be on Friday. Quick timeout. We'll wrap it up in just a moment.
Save big at Bomarito Nissan. Over 1,000 Nissans. Get the Bomarito.